Life, you dumb fuck.
Where did it all go wrong, Shorzy?
Well, it's a good thing about reffing your beer league, boys. At least I see it can get much worse.
Yeah, did you tuck your dick back between your legs for that too?
Doesn't matter, Corey. Your mom will still find a way to grab it.
Don't worry, bud. Your spray tan mid-December in Northern Ontario didn't stand out at all.
Glad to hear, Liam.
Don't worry, no one's calling you Jersey Shoresy.
It get weird at all having one of the boys grease you up?
Nope.
No? Didn't think, what have I been doing with broads all these years? This is terrific.
Well, it's only gay if you get hard.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, isn't that what you told me, Cor?
What?
Hey, didn't you tell me if you keep your socks on, it's not gay? Something like that?
Fuck you, Shoresy. Dog shit call.
Fuck you.
The Yanks are coming for that record, Shorzy.
Liam, can you just hurry up and finish this game? Your mom's still waiting for me to come back with a warm, wet towel.
Fuck you, Shorzy.
Fuck you, Liam. Your mom carved her initials into my bed frame. How am I supposed to explain that to Corey's mom?
Fuck you, Shoresy.
Fuck you, Corey. Your mom's texts are so full of spelling mistakes, I can barely figure out what time she wants me to come over.
Fuck you, Shorzy.
Liam, did you know your mom calls her mid or wet wallet?
Fuck you.
Boys, just tell your moms to leave me alone. I'm not getting matching tattoos with them.
Hope the Yanks fucking toss you, Shoresy.
Not worried about the Yanks, boys.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Well, let's hope. Fingers crossed. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk. Hi, how you doing? Let me get my microphone straight here. We're kind of seat of the pants because it's the playoffs. Everybody's embroiled in the fantasy plays. Everybody in this room is, by the way. I don't know about y'all, but I know I am. I know that this guy in his big ass bald head is.
Hey, I'm here.
Yeah, and I'm actually playing you.
You know, you're losing to me.
I'm losing to you currently.
Yes, currently.
But that's why they play the games. Yeah, and so that's Matty DeMaz Masaracchio.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday.
Who's gonna lose? Yeah. And seated across the room, matriculating on your screen from right to left and left to right. And you know, dude, with the black and with your wide shoulders, you look like you're like way wider than you normally are in real life. But welcome to Johnny Bond. He's wide load.
Let's go.
He's
Good to be back.
Widen it up. So yeah, we got a lot to get to actually, because not only is it playoff time for fantasy leagues. But we're down into the crunch for the actual, reality playoffs for the NFL, and yes, us Dolphin fans, we are recovering from a trauma last Monday night. I don't want to talk about it. I'm going to say it's a blip in the road. Would you say it's a blip in the road?
Yeah, it better be.
Just a bump.
We better, because we can't lose this game. Whoa.
Just a little bump.
Why don't you ask a non-fan to give you the truth?
Well, nobody cares what you think.
Okay.
Steeler
Next.
fan.
Kick rocks.
Steeler fan.
No, listen. Don't. Steeler fan, yes, but honest Steeler fan. Never been one to.
Yeah, how'd that work out for you?
Not be
yesterday,
afraid to be honest about how bad the Steelers are.
You were a victim of Minshew magic.
Listen, we've lost in our history in the last so many years to some of the worst quarterbacks ever in the biggest spots.
Yeah,
Tim Tebow.
Pretty terrible.
It's whatever.
So who's going to be the next coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers?
My phone's not ringing. It should, honestly. I sent a resume a few weeks ago to the Roonies, and I'm still waiting for a response. I haven't got anything yet. Sent some photos.
Normally a smart football family. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, so I have no idea who the next coach is going to be. I just know that it's not going to be this guy anymore. It's over. Move on. Thanks. Go to the TV.
Would you like Flores? Would you like Flores as your next coach?
No.
That's Baby Tomlin.
No, that's Baby Tomlin.
Pretty much.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's more the same.
Yeah.
That's more the same.
No, listen, the organization is as stable as any in sports. That's been the plus. The negative side to that is loyalty. And when it runs its course way beyond when it should have probably ended, Ben Roethlisberger as an example, now Tomlin as an example, there are many others. Again, it's just... It's probably one of the most difficult decisions in sports is to fire a coach, especially when it's been there for so long and the relationships that are built. But again, it's a business, like they always say, and the product on the field is just not good.
You're in business to do business.
Yeah, it's the Steeler Nation demands more The organization should demand more.
Right.
And it's not been the case.
Well, do you feel better now?
No.
You got that off your chest?
I feel worse.
I know. It's pretty bad.
I feel worse.
Take it for somebody who's been dealing with, and me and John, we've been dealing with coaching turmoil for the last, 15 years now? 16 years? 20 years?
Come on, quarterback.
They should have never fired Wanstead. They should have never fired Wanstead.
How big would his stash be now if he kept coaching? It'd be
it would be. It would be
tied around the back of his head.
Yeah, it would be like Geraldo Rivera's mustache. Have you checked out Geraldo lately?
Yeah.
He's just all mustache now. That's all he is. He's just a mustache and gray hair, and that's all he is. So well, let's get right to our first segment then, because I mean, you really want to talk about this stuff. Then let's talk about this.
Let's
stuff.
go.
And that would be a little bit of a kick rocks, or would it be rock solid? So what's our first topic for rock solidness and kick rockness?
Well, a lot of stuff in the NFL going on today. In general, the landscape is always changing. I just like to kind of key in on a couple of big things, some stories. My take is that when we entered the season this year, everybody was on the AFC. The quarterback play in particular. They were
All
like,
about 'em.
it was like the senior circuit, right? They were looking at Mahomes and Allen and Tua and Burrow, and again, it was still Rodgers at that time. It was very heavy top-ended, right? Quarterback play in the AFC.
Oh, yeah.
And we were looking at the NFC going, well, the class of the NFC, maybe the Niners because they've got a good team, not sure of the quarterback play. Certainly the Eagles based on last year's performance. And then you were looking around at the third team. Who's that going to be? Could it be Dallas? Could it be this? Could it be that? Okay, well, the record this year, AFC has pretty much dominated the NFC. It's like a 60% win percentage. But I think the NFC is extremely top-heavy. And if you look at the top 3 or 4 teams in the NFL, they're all coming out of the NFC. The Niners, the Eagles, the way the Cowboys are playing now. Right now, my money, if you had to tell me who is a Super Bowl winner this year, pick a conference, I'm picking the NFC. That's my team. That's my conference this year. Because if you tell me right now, pick 2 teams to win in the Super Bowl this year, I'm going Niners clearly as the first choice. And maybe after today's game, or Dallas-Buffalo, is that tonight or tomorrow? That's tonight, right?
Tonight,
The 8 o'clock game. If Dallas comes out again, looks super impressive like they've been against now a better team like Buffalo, who was considered one of the elites in the AFC.
Go Cowboys.
You got to put Dallas in that conversation too. So for right now, my money is on the NFC, which is totally different than what we may have thought coming into the year this year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree 100%. Johnny, what you got for that?
He's absolutely right. Coming into the season, we all had the AFC pretty much being the conference to basically win a Super Bowl or at least have the highest chance. But that has definitely changed, and a good reason for that. Just going to name a couple of quarterbacks and their replacements, and you'll see. C.J. Stroud recently, but he got Davis Mills coming in to play for him. You got Justin Herbert.
He's not a slouch.
Wait. One question: is Mills playing today, or is it?
It's Mills.
It is Mills because they were talking about the other guy playing today.
Even if it was, it's still
it's so bad.
Off.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Justin Herbert, Easton Stick. Okay, you have now. Listen to this. This is why Cleveland, I think, is a really good coach football team.
Thick.
You had Deshaun Watson get hurt, and since then, 6 other quarterbacks have played for this team and started a game. That is insane. Okay. You have Aaron Rodgers, of course, replaced by Zach Wilson, Anthony Richardson for Gardner Minshew, and then Joe Burrow for Jake Browning, which is the only comp that you have there because Jake Browning these last 3 games is showing that he can win football games for you, but he's not Joe Burrow. And then on the other side, it's laughable. Kirk Cousins and Kyle Murray are the only 2 players that are of significance in the NFC to get hurt quarterback-wise, and they both got replaced by Josh Dobbs.
This is pretty amazing.
So it's like when you start looking at how many great quarterbacks in the AFC are not playing right now and the replacements are that far of a drop-off, the NFC, I think, has your Super Bowl champion in it, and mine is San Francisco, healthy.
Well, listen, one thing that we have noticed this year and we've noticed in past years is that when you have an offensive-minded head coach, okay, if you lose your starting quarterback, the drop-off isn't that precipitous, okay? Maybe the next game, it may be a little off, because they need a little time to prepare and they need to get them up to speed. But then we're seeing these backups are coming in and doing a credible job, doing a good job. But the inverse is also true if you have a defensive-minded head coach and you have a backup quarterback. it's a shit show. It's an absolute disaster. Okay, Easton Stick, case in point. How'd that work out for Staley? He got a Greyhound bus ticket. He didn't even get to ride back on the hop flight back from Vegas to L.A. They said, no, you take an Uber.
They put him in coach.
Yeah, they put him in coach. They said, no, you go up to the front of the plane. You
Coach,
go to the back of the plane.
go to coach.
Coach, go to coach.
Yeah.
That's your spot. So what you're seeing defensive coaches. They don't know what to do with a backup quarterback. They're like, all right, go in there and do your best. No. You get those offensive coaches, and where are we looking at? All these players that have been replaced. Look at Kevin Stefanski. That's case number one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Shanahan with Purdy, obviously, the biggest one. Yeah.
Shanahan with just about anybody but Trey Lance. Listen, they traded Trey Lance because Shanahan's like, I can't work with it.
Well,
I can't do nothing. This is all I can get.
I feel like at that point they knew what they had in the building with Purdy. Nobody else did, but they did apparently.
Oh, no. I mean, listen. How many times did we see Lance get a chance? I mean, Lance get a chance. Okay, how many times did we see him get a chance? Okay, and it was interrupted by injury a couple of times, but Shanahan's a quarterback whisperer. Okay, he made Nick Mullins, who, by the way, almost pulled off a W yesterday in Cincinnati. He made C.J. Beathard. He made Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay, those guys have not played. I'll give Mullins some credit. Mullins did really well yesterday.
He slings it. He just throws. He don't care.
Well, he's got a strong arm.
Yeah, I mean,
he's got a strong arm.
Double coverage, triple coverage here.
Right.
I'll let my guy get it.
He's a guy that I was fully expecting was going to sign with the Dolphins as a backup because he was, him or C.J. Beathard because they're there's a lot of experience with McDaniel. So, offensive-minded head coach with a background either as a quarterback coach or as an offensive coordinator, and they take backups to new heights. Okay, Stefanski worked with who's the kid with the hyphenated name? He did well. He had like a 60+% completion percentage.
Yeah.
And now you have Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco, who was on the couch for Thanksgiving. Okay, Thanksgiving Day, he was at home. He went to the gym, went home, had turkey, sat around, had a little grappas, because he is Italian. And now he's a dark horse.
Yeah.
He's a dark horse to carry that team.
Well, that's going to lead us into the next segment once we get through this one. Good
it's
segue.
called a segue.
Good segue.
It's a segue, damn it.
Good segue.
All right, that brings us to our next subject.
Well, so then we are kicking rocks on obviously the AFC being the true powerhouse.
Too many backups, too many factors. I mean, even the Dolphins. Something miraculous as far as their attitude and their swag has got to change. Okay, because that Monday night collapse that showed a little lack of swag. That showed a little. McDaniel got outcoached. Once again, we have 4 losses, and how many times has he been outcoached?
Yeah,
4 times. Okay, and you look at the 4 coaches that have outcoached him, really good coaches. Okay, so I'm huge. I live it, love it, breathe it. Okay, but hurting. You're hurting for certain. That's for certain. Okay, so on to the next kick rocks or rock solid.
Yeah.
And that would be let me roll graphics here.
Punch it up. Let's see it. Kick it, baby.
Kick those rocks, or is it rock solid? What you got?
I think we're solid. Well, we just sort of mentioned about Flacco and about Cleveland, and about how this guy, with his storied career, we talked about a little bit before, in the pre-show. Is he a Hall of Famer? His numbers don't really add up to that, but he's been really good. He's had a really good career. And obviously he was ready to go because of all the quarterbacks that have been in that locker room, they're still winning games, and it's on the defense. Cleveland's defense right now is number 1 overall in football. Okay.
Well, but still don't sell the offensive line short, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, my point is that a good offense helps a good defense. A bad offense puts a lot of pressure on the defense. And that defense has been still number 1 despite the quarterback carousel. So let's assume now that my kick rocks here is about Joe Flacco. Is he enough? Is he the guy at this point, assuming he now stays healthy, to lead them to the Super Bowl? And I'm going to say yes, in a way, because, again, mentioning the strength of that team, you need a guy that's going to go in there that knows the offense. He does, smart guy. You need a guy that's not going to turn the ball over. He's not. You got a guy that can pretty much understand situations, manage games. He does. And again, if they're not asking him to do more than what he's capable of, and he's very capable of, then that team is sitting right now first in the division, them and Baltimore. And Baltimore's in a tough spot today against Jacksonville. They're on the road. It's a bad weather game. At least there's going to be some wind. We'll talk about some weather games later. Cleveland has a real shot here, to go far, maybe get a home game in the playoffs. They win a division. They're going to be tough at home with that defense, especially with the weather. You got to remember now, Cleveland's not a great place to play in December and January. All signs point towards Cleveland right now, and it's Joe Flacco is going to be the one that's throwing the football.
Joe can go in bad weather.
Yeah,
He's, like I said, that experience, dude.
He's got experience within the division. Played there
out for the old head.
So, I mean, again, you just don't know. Nobody had Joe Flacco playing quarterback this year anywhere. Nobody.
He was on the couch.
Yeah. I mean, and again, that just goes to show you that in today's NFL, with coaching, with scheming, obviously talent at such a high level across the entire NFL. I'll give you an example. Today's game, we were talking about the Arizona Cardinals at home today to the Niners. Niners are a better football team, right? It's not even close. I mean, we're talking about them being Super Bowl champs.
Division game.
Arizona is going into the lottery next year. Okay.
Division game.
It opened up at 13 points. I think it's down to 10.5. All the smart money's on Arizona. Why? Because you look at every potential factor that goes into it. It's not just X's and O's. It's not just who's better and who's worse. So Cleveland, to me, it just lines up. It's lining up for Flacco. It's lining up for Cleveland. They've weathered the storm. They're playing good football at the right time of the year. For me, Joe Flacco and the Browns, rock solid.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. Johnny Audubon, get you some.
Well,
He's been sitting back.
I've been listening. I went over 3 years, basically, where this Cleveland team kind of fits the bill of 3 other teams that have won Super Bowls in this exact way. Cleveland right now has got a great run game. Okay, they got a number 1 defensive team in the league. They have a veteran QB that is a great game manager. He's got great game manager skills. Now, in 2013, when he won last time a Super Bowl, he was a tad bit more of a gunslinger then. He would chuck it up. Now he's just a very good game manager. You can see it. He just moves his sticks.
He can still get some air on that ball, though.
And I'm not saying he doesn't. It's just not as often as he was before. He fits the prototype of the 2000 Ravens. Same exact thing. You had a game manager, a great defense, run game that could hold you down.
Great offensive line.
You had Tampa Bay in 2002. Same exact thing. Great defense, game manager, run game. And 2013 Ravens. Great defense. Joe Flacco as a bit more of a game manager, but not an elite QB. And he ended up winning one that year. So is it out of the question? Absolutely not. And I didn't even think about this topic until you gave it to me today. I would have never picked Cleveland today.
Put him in the playoffs, too. He's 10-5, record career in the playoffs.
When you look at it, there is a chance. That's what we're saying. None of us are picking Cleveland to win the Super Bowl. What we're saying is that there is a shot.
There is a chance.
There is a blueprint.
Somebody's got to come out of the AFC.
Right.
So, I mean, the Buffalo game today is big. Obviously, that'll kind of give you a direction of where they're going. Dolphins are floundering.
Go
not
Cowboys.
To use the analogy.
No,
Dolphins
but it's
floundering.
true. I mean, they're not looking great.
That's not funny, man.
I'm sorry. But, so it could be Cleveland. I mean, why not? Somebody's going to win the division.
And you'll have a lot of people go, well, they're not going to be able to beat Baltimore. And again, we're talking about a divisional playoff game now. Cleveland could absolutely win that.
I do believe Cleveland has Baltimore 2 times yet to play this year. I don't think they've played them yet. I think they've got Baltimore on the schedule twice coming up.
So then it would go
schedule.
Cleveland, Dolphins, Cleveland?
That's
crazy.
That's nuts.
I don't
That's
know.
bananas.
That I'll check. But anyway, so
I mean,
I'll check on the break.
We're playing the Jets a month apart. We put a couple in between us and the
I'll
Jets.
check on the break and see what their schedule is.
Okay. So you're buying.
Yeah,
you're buying
there's a
into
shot.
Joe Flacco.
Absolutely, there's a shot. He keeps playing like this. I don't see any reason why they couldn't surprise you. I mean, the Giants did it when they won their first Super Bowl. They were 9-7 or something like that when they entered.
And
no one gave them a shot and just got hot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, we got history on our side here. Okay. This is a matter of historical context. Okay, going as far back as the Miami Dolphins in 1972. 5th game of the year, Bob Greasy breaks an ankle, gets sacked, turns his ankle, breaks it. Has to have surgery to get it done. He's in a cast. In comes 54-year-old Earl Morrall, been playing, since, leather helmets, All right, played for Shula back in Baltimore. Won a championship with I think he was a starting quarterback for I don't know, I forget that part of history, but
Well, you're only 14 when it happened.
yeah,
so-
exactly.
Yeah.
I was in college when it happened. Because I'm 100. But he comes in and he essentially goes undefeated all the way through to the playoffs. He only got replaced in the AFC Championship game because the Steelers were leading at halftime, and Bob Greasy was a healthy backup, and they were like, all right, we're going to put Greasy in. Okay. But they still, when they got to the Super Bowl, they still thought, maybe we're going to start Morrill. I mean, but no, Greasy was in, and of course, the rest is history. But you go that far back. Okay. You also go, what was it, with Billy Kilmer with also in 72, because he was the backup that replaced Sonny Jurgensen. So there was a backup starter there, and he was a hard-nosed fucker to begin with.
The 85 Bears.
Yeah, the 85
We tend
Bears.
to forget about them. We don't mention them.
Yeah, exactly.
Game manager, great run game,
Yep.
and great defense.
100%.
Yep.
100%. Then you fast forward to guys like Craig Morton. Craig Morton was, first of all, he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys in the 60s. Okay. So Craig Morton is the backup for the Denver Broncos in the big Orange Crush run, which they got crushed by the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. But Craig Morton was a guy who came in and had like a 9-game run as a starter and dragged the Broncos to the playoffs and dragged the Broncos to the Super Bowl. Okay, so, and of course Jim Plunkett being another great example when he ended up going to the Raiders. He wallowed in mediocrity with San Francisco and with New England, who drafted him, by the way. I believe he was first overall, Heisman Trophy pick, and total bust. And the Raiders, Al Davis picked him up off the scrap heap and said, all right, go in there, do what you got to do, do what you can do. And, so there's a history of these old heads coming off the couch, getting a hold of a team that's got real good offensive line, elite defense, Trent Dilfer, Brad Johnson, 8 years in the league. He was contemplating retirement.
Yeah, there's a couple of
I'm going to
quarterbacks.
go play for Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be a backup with Tampa Bay.
Yeah. Well,
have a Super Bowl ring.
the similarities are the defense. It's the strength of that team.
Exactly.
Game managers just throw the rock,
Right.
don't turn it
The
over.
Denver Broncos with Peyton Manning.
Right.
He was just a game manager at that time. He did
Oh
not
my
have
God.
a great
There's
a
season.
lot.
That defense was unstoppable.
I went back and checked the Cleveland. I was wrong. They have played them twice already, and they did split.
Good
So
check.
they
Good
split.
check.
I was going to say I've never seen
Some
a
real-time
schedule
info.
where it's like
Real-time
that.
info there.
Yeah, they split.
So believe it. For those of you who are of the wagering type, believe in Joe. He's going to make you some money. Especially down the stretch and into the playoffs.
Yeah, I would like to know
telling
what
you.
the odds of that are, because that would be one hell to salt a little something on that and possibly win it. They got to be huge odds. Like
Cleveland to win it
the
all.
Super Bowl this year. Yeah,
That's gotta be like 1,200 to 1,
3,800
3,800 to 1.
Yeah, way up there, bro.
Check your odds, kids. Check your odds. Wait.
Here we go. I think
Matt's already on the odds.
Yeah,
What's
let's
going
do
on?
this.
Odds,
I got to
odds,
see what
odds.
that is. That's got to be tremendous money for you.
Look at the concentration.
Yeah, it's not coming up yet.
It's not coming up.
Yeah,
yet.
they might not even be in it.
All right. Well, while you go ahead and check on that, we're done with Kick Rocks, right? That
We
was
are.
it. Those are two important subjects.
Plus 3,200 for the
Plus
Cleveland
32.
Browns.
Yo,
Yeah.
sprinkle a 20 on that.
Yeah.
They are 5, 6,
Sawbuck, 20. Throw a little bit on there, just a little, just a
a
little,
sprinkle
just
on
in
that.
case.
They
just
are
in case.
they are the 10th
Favorite?
worst odds. The worst odds are the 20th best odds. However you want to look at it.
That's
okay.
money.
So there are 9 teams ahead of them with better odds. That's really about where they should be. I
And
feel.
I'm gonna be madder than hell if they come to Miami during the playoffs and we beat them. I'm gonna be like,
Yeah, actually, there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 teams ahead of them.
Green Bay's ahead of them.
Yeah,
yeah,
Green Bay
it's the
is-
Joe factor,
No,
man.
they're plus 8,000 Green Bay.
All right, that's the Joe factor. Okay, while you guys go ahead and grind on that, I'm gonna fire up the break and give us a chance to get ourselves together, because what do we got coming on?
We got a few important games to discuss.
a few important games to
Yeah,
discuss.
just a few.
Okay, and then we'll come back right after the break, because this is an organized and professional show at the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk. Welcome back to the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk. Well, it's been pretty tumultuous here. Very, very nice first Kick Rock's rock solid segment there. We did neglect to address the hot seat, the elephant in the room, if you will. Staley got his ass fired. Staley and the GM fired. I think they got fired in the locker room right after they lost.
Nobody
hanging with a 63 burger on you with your seat is already hot, and then you come out and you shit the bed.
Yeah,
as a lone national TV program. No, that was an embarrassment to the entire organization. The Chargers need to kind of start over, and we all know that Bill Belichick wants to retire in Los Angeles.
Can I mention something about Staley? I mean, everybody is banged on this guy, right?
Well, he was a good defensive coordinator.
Well, here's the thing. They were 27-27 under Staley. Okay,
Right.
they're 500 club. There are worse coaching performances out there that are still having jobs.
Sure.
And I mean, there's attrition in the coaching ranks every year. 7, 8, 9 coaches, it's the fact, right?
Right.
Certainly he was going to be one of those guys. It's been long coming. But, again, they're not an easy organization to play for. Ownership is really shaky in San Diego.
They're horrible. San Diego, you mean LA?
LA, whatever. You know what I mean. They don't have home field advantage. They have dealt with injuries. They've had 5 offensive coordinators in the last 5 years. It's just been a mess for the whole organization. So it's easy just to point at the coach and say, hey, it's his fault. Now, he's made some bad decisions. There's been some really bad lapses. You know, the playoff loss last year where they were up by 64 points and they lost that game.
Terrible.
And then they've had some big losses this year as well.
It's terrible. It's absolutely
So, yeah,
terrible.
Staley's out. A few other coaches are out. We can make a list of a few other guys that should be out and probably will be by year's end. Maybe that'll be next.
Tomlin.
Yeah, Tomlin, he should be gone. But, yeah, so 100% I agree with that. But the game goes on. And they suit up and they play another one today.
And here we go again.
Yeah, let's do it up. So a couple of big games.
A couple?
A couple of big games today.
A few.
We can start by talking about, which I think is probably one of the biggest games of the weekend, is the Cowboys and the Bills.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go Cowboys.
We know where both teams are. The Bills, like we had predicted last week, Josh Allen being the difference in that game, making the plays he needs to make. I still think Buffalo is not a good football team overall. I can't count on them.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the things we've talked about, the running game, the consistency from the receivers. You got defensive-minded head coach. It just seems to be lapses there too sometimes. So, again, Superman, Josh Allen, puts it on his shoulders and goes and wins games. Today is going to be his toughest match of the year. Dallas is playing with their hair on fire.
What's the weather on that, by the way? I hear it's going to be typically Buffalo in December.
I don't think it's terrible. It's not one of the Weather Watch games. We'll talk about weather in some of the games
it's not wet,
later.
cold, and nasty?
No, it's actually not too bad up there right now.
Oh, must be a sunny spring day.
It is. It's probably in the 30s. There's probably a little wind, but it's
That's a sunny spring Buffalo day.
It's not a nor'easter by any stretch. So, on the other side, Dak is in the MVP discussion. He's played well all year. The knock, if there is one, which is commonplace here, is trying to pick apart who these teams play, the matchups. Are they really that good? Today is the marker. If Dak Prescott and the Cowboys go out today and make a statement against the Bills, they're in the discussion. It's final, right? The Cowboys are going to be the team this year that probably won't be the team that we've been banging on for the last, 25 years where they haven't made the playoffs? So the big game today, both sides. Bills need this to stay alive in the playoff chase. And the Cowboys need this because they have an outside shot at catching the Eagles, who are sort of a little bit
dipping.
not too sure of themselves.
Let me get some of this Cowboys Super Bowl talk first of all. Let me get some of that because first of all, two teams that everybody's been hating on besides the New England Patriots. Of course, you're going to hate on the Patriots because they're winning all the damn Super Bowls. Okay, two teams that just been subject of vitriolic disrespect and hate. Dallas Cowboys, Miami Dolphins. Okay, when you see that the Dallas Cowboys play the Miami Dolphins in the Super Bowl this year, okay, I almost don't care who wins. I almost don't care who wins because first of all, both of them being there is going to upset a lot of fucking apple carts. A lot of people. Oh my God! We got to have both of these teams in the Super Bowl. I'm not going to watch the Super Bowl. Don't watch the Super Bowl. Nobody cares. Just the same way nobody cares about your opinion about whether you like the Dolphins or you like the Cowboys or you dislike the Dolphins or you dislike the Cowboys. Because you know what? It's going to be the Hater Bowl. So we're talking about two of the most storied franchises in the NFL, two of the biggest, most devout fan bases in the NFL. And you know what? They also get hated on a lot.
Well, the irony is
hate us
this.
because they ain't us.
The irony is that neither team has been relevant for the last 25 years.
Exactly.
So where's the hate coming from? I mean, Cowboys, I get it because they're labeled as America's team or whatever the hell it's supposed to be. But the Dolphins, I mean, I just think we are, and I say we, the Dolphins, South Florida, it's a very niche market. It's a big market. And it's a very old market. Obviously, the Dolphins have a very old, strong,
a lot larger fan base than everybody figures.
And yeah, the Dolphins fairly travel well, I think, to a degree. Not like some of the
This year
teams.
they've been traveling well like crazy.
Yeah, if you look in the stands.
Look what they did to Washington.
Yeah, I'm talking about fan base, though, in terms of attendance and other places.
No, that's what he's talking about, though. We had a lot of fans in Washington. We almost took over that stadium.
I was going to say, they almost took over.
Well, does Washington have any fans to themselves?
The same way with the Meadowlands.
Yeah.
It was the same way with MetLife Stadium. We took that bitch over.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are valid points there about those teams. Give me the odds on that Super Bowl.
Hate it.
1,000 to 1.
What, the Cowboys?
Oh, shut up. Shut up, 1,000 to 1.
500,000.
You're another one of those haters. You and that goofy cook at Diamond Dolls, Gino. He hates Tua. Gino, the cook.
Oh, does he really?
Chef Gino, Mr. Shepherd's Pie.
Does he get an opinion? Really?
Oh, he is just the loudest, most obnoxious little Jamaican dude. Now, I love him. I love him to death. Get out of here! Look at you with your Dolphin, with your Tua. But let me tell you what. The Hater Bowl. I am dying for the Hater Bowl. You have no idea. I want everybody just hate it.
Who are you taking? Who are you taking? Bills?
In this game?
Bills Cowboys.
I'm actually going to the Bills.
You're going
Bill?
Bill?
I'm going Bill. I'm going to tell you why.
I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
I'm going to tell you why. The Cowboys are
no camera time
unreal. Unreal at home. 39.9 points a game at home. They are balling at home. On the road, much different. 23.4.
Right.
And that's in most of these games versus weak competition and great weather. You are versing a team that is desperate, that is hot. You are versing a team whose field is not going to be very nice to you. It is. I don't care if it's raining or not. It's cold, and you're from Dallas. It's not like this team plays in Minnesota. They're playing down here where it's hot 9-10 months out of the year. It's going to affect them. And I think that the Buffalo Bills are just hot right now. Also, Josh Allen is 21-9-2 against the spread when he is a 3-point underdog or less. This game is just spilling out for Bills to win. I am going to go ahead and pick the Bills on Josh Allen's arm. And a surprise game from the running game also. I know a lot of people aren't betting on that, but I'm betting that it's a surprise.
Here's the weather in Buffalo today if you want to know. 50 degrees today, but rain. 60% chance, 20-mile-an-hour winds. Again, not cold, not so much. A little windy, a little rainy, a little gross. Certainly Buffalo has the advantage of being at home.
I think Buffalo takes this one. I think we've reached the peak of Cowboys, what is the word I'm looking for here? Like stock. Success. I think we've reached the top, and I think that the Bills is still accelerating. I think that what I've seen from them the past few weeks have shown a ton of moxie, and I do expect them to have one more bad game, but this isn't going to be it. I don't think this is the game.
Boo. And I'm strictly going on pure vitriolic Sith dark side hate. Darth Gonzo takes the Cowboys. And I'll force choke anybody who says different.
Did you use the word vitriolic twice?
Vitriolic.
Twice.
Vitriolic.
In a couple of minutes. That's important.
You got to understand, okay, as a Dolphin fan, I hate the other three teams in the AFC. Hate. With a burning passion, I hate them. Okay? Bill Belichick's downfall has been nothing but amusing to me. Okay, amusing, and I hope he goes to wherever else he goes to, and he lays a friggin' egg, and he comes up one game short of Don Shula's win record, and I hope he goes on and just embarrasses himself in his old age trying to catch Don.
Tell
Shula.
us how you feel.
Oh, just missed it. But enjoy your Super Bowl.
Yeah, please share your opinion.
Respect. 8 Super Bowl rings as a head coach and a coordinator. Massive respect, but I don't care. I really don't. Jets, always going to hate them. Don't matter. There's history. There's frustration. Always going to hate the Jets. And Buffalo, okay, I have fist-fought Buffalo fans, okay, in the 80s. Fist-fought them. Okay, there's 2 ways that Buffalo fans were, or 3 ways that Buffalo fans were going out of Pro Player Stadium, and that was walking, stumbling, drunk, out on a stretcher because they got their ass beat, or out on a stretcher from heat prostitution. And yes, I said heat prostitution. Okay, and the friggin' tourists. All right, so screw Buffalo at all times. Go Cowboys. Next game.
It's a great place to live, though.
Yeah, who cares?
Very, very close.
Yeah, if you want snow up to your ass.
Yeah. All right. So we're all on the Bills, I guess. Is that what we're looking at here?
No, go Cowboys.
I know.
Like, wait, where were you?
Cowboys.
I'm trying to get
the aliens
the
come
vitriol. I can't even say it. Vitriosity.
Vitriolic. You troglodyte. You. Yeah. Now spell troglodyte. Spell troglodyte. TROG. I'll give you the TROG.
Yes, Bills.
Ladate.
LOD.
Right. ATE.
YTE.
MOUSE.
Oh my God.
Okay, so
And you went to college.
next game. Yeah, but I went for a long time.
Yeah, but you majored in underwater basket weaving.
I went for 6
I
years.
have
got
a
a 2-year
physical
degree.
education degree.
I was a sociology expert.
Sociology. Go on. Next game.
Ravens Jags.
Go Jags.
Yeah, this is one of the weather games. This is a game where even though they've seen a lot of the rain
We're
we've
getting
seen,
sunshine. There's sunshine outside our studio window for the first time this week.
true, but I can hear the wind whipping a little bit still out there. So
That.
Jacksonville, their conditions today are as rain clearing, but a lot of wind, 30, 40 mile an hour, gusts even higher I've seen earlier in the game. As the game progresses, it gets a little easier, but certainly nobody can predict exactly when the weather is going to be a factor or not. I just know that it's windy as hell up there, and that's the one condition in weather that affects the outcome of the game. Because you can't throw the ball in the wind, you don't know where it's going.
Yeah,
So-
and I'll agree. Have you ever been up in that stadium? Have you ever
Jacksonville,
yeah.
Alltel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been there? It's a little bit of an open stadium. you
Here's
know,
a story.
it's-
I saw the one game I saw there was the game where Cower took the field to almost hit the player returning on a kickoff touchdown. I was at
stepped out.
that game.
He stepped out off the side of Cower.
Yeah. Jacksonville beat us that game. They ended up running a kickback, and Cower got so mad. You see him step on the field like he was going to
Clothesline
stick a
the
foot
guy.
out or whatever, and then he got better senses of himself and then stepped off, and Jacksonville returned a kick. They win the game.
That's one thing we tend to forget is that Bill Cowher was a Pro Bowl quarterback. He was a linebacker.
Linebacker, yeah.
For his entire career. What was it? It was Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and I think Kansas City for a little while. He had 3 teams.
He
but
bounced
was a
through
really
it.
good linebacker.
He was decent. He was
back in the
decent,
day.
but he certainly coached like he had linebacker
Oh, of
mentality.
course.
One of my favorites. So bring him back to coach the Steelers. I'd be okay with that.
Holy crap.
So I mean, it's a tough game. I mean, both teams need it at this time of the year. If you're in contention, these games are important. They're playoff games. The Ravens are trying to keep pace in the division, like we talked about, because Cleveland's on their heels. Jacksonville, little Jekyll and Hyde. Okay, good at times. Dealt with some injuries. Now, Lawrence, is he a start today or not
Yes.
on the ankle?
Yes,
he is
he is.
playing? Okay, good.
Miraculously.
So he's playing, but again, how well is he going to be able to play against this Raven defense, who's number 2 in the league behind the Browns? Tough game today for both teams. I think a lower scoring, physical type game. If you're mentioning physical, I'm leaning Baltimore because that's their style. And I think you're getting a few points on the road here with the Ravens, I believe. I'm not sure what the spread is, but I like the Ravens today. I think overall they're a better football team.
Yeah, Baltimore's favored by 3.5 on the road. I'm taking Jacksonville. Everything actually tells you to pick Baltimore. I do believe they are a better team, but the NFL is funky each and every week. You got teams that shouldn't win that do. And I think this is one of those spots where if you're going to take a risk and maybe putting together some type of parlay, Jacksonville's as safe a bet I think this week as you're going to get. They play tough. I mean, they do play better on the road than at home, which is very weird. But I'm going to take it that eventually that's got to, start to change a little bit. And I'll take Jacksonville on a windy day, running the ball with ETN Jr. over and over again, keeping it away from Lamar.
It's a good money line bet to take Jacksonville, I feel, today, because if you think they're going to win the game and you're getting points at home, you're probably plus 150, 160 at home.
It is exactly
Yep.
150.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that's,
Look at that.
That's a really
It is
strong
exactly
play.
150.
It's almost like you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's a really strong
So,
play. And I have no idea. I haven't
actually-
looked at the odds.
This is
I
my
just-
pick of the week for underdog to win the game. This
Yeah?
is my money line game right
Oh.
now.
Oh, you have the money
Jacksonville-
line?
Yes,
Oh, okay,
I
wow.
do have
Ooh,
Jacksonville
that's-
money line. And
it's
that's why I
the
knew it was
pick.
150. So it's
all coming together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I looked at it. I was like, okay.
It's the pick of the week.
And as about as safe a bet as you can get. If you want to take Jacksonville with the points, go ahead and do that. But I'll take Jacksonville all around this game right now. Just a weird week. They shouldn't win. I do believe Baltimore's a better team. But listen, man, every week you got teams that drop, and I'm taking Jacksonville this week out of all the other underdogs.
All right. Well, fantasy-wise, I see this game as something where if you're taking top-tier players from both teams, okay, and even the defenses, because both of these defenses are very predicated on turnovers and takeaways. Okay, they're very predicated on that. I mean, all their successes, all their wins, you see that the defense got at least one takeaway, so that skews the possessions from 12 to 14, if you will. So with all the big boys, I think you're going to see Lawrence get some. I think you're going to see Jackson do one on the ground, two in the air. Then the Mitchell kid will probably score a touchdown.
The key for Baltimore is who's going to step up in the face of losing one of their best offensive key players, which was Mark Andrews.
Isaiah Likely.
Yeah, he's going to have to be the piece. But again,
he's already shown flashes. Okay, Johnny made a comparison to him that he's like Shannon Sharp. He's tall, he's lean. Mark Andrews is a great tight end. Okay, but he's built like a linebacker.
Well, he's Kelsey 2.0.
Yeah,
he finds the holes in the zone.
A little more ass to him.
He's finding the hole in the zones. He knows the defenses,
right.
and he gets open, makes every catch.
Right,
So.
where Likely is more of a speed guy.
Yeah, he's like a hybrid wide receiver tight end. Yeah,
and he's a more of a go up and get it guy too. He can climb the ladder and jump over top of a safety and take the ball away.
He's dangerous out of that position.
Yeah, exactly.
But you lose the ability and you lose the safety of a Mark Andrews. You lose the fact of when you're 3rd and 7. He can settle in his zone, make a big catch where you get a first down.
He can also shadow cornerbacks with that. Size,
I don't look at Baltimore as wanting to press the ball down the field. I don't see them as that type of offense. They can. They've got some speed with Bateman. They've got stuff on the outside. But to me, Andrews is a big loss, and I don't know over a period of time, 3, 4 games, 5 games, how they're going to look, how they're going to reset, and plan on being a productive and good offense moving forward.
Well, they made the adjustment because what we've seen over the last 3 weeks is we've seen Odell Beckham Jr. catching more over the middle. Okay, we've seen the wide receivers going over the middle more. We've seen the running backs catching more out of the backfield. Okay, they're making up for the loss. Okay, and they're being more creative with their patterns that they're sending Likely out on as well. They're taking advantage of his speed, his obvious speed differential between the two of them.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I think very few linebackers can actually hang with him on route running.
Yeah.
And he brings a different aspect to it. Exactly. So I think both are valuable.
Yeah.
But yes, there's no replacing Andrews, and I don't believe he'll fully replace that production. That's crazy.
No.
But he can get close enough to where you just keep the train rolling, man. It just is what it is. I don't think it's that far of a drop-off that people think it is. I think he's dangerous in certain spots.
All right, next game.
Really, those are the only 2 games that were really super.
You got?
I mean, that were really important. All the games are important in today's NFL. We had a couple of games yesterday had some value. Detroit made a statement yesterday. So they got back on track. Jared Goff threw for 5 touchdowns yesterday?
31
touchdowns.
fantasy points, man.
He had a big game. So
and only 31 fantasy points because he didn't top 300 yards.
Yeah, but that's a team
that's efficient.
that is really good at home. And again, it is a dangerous team. So, there were a couple of big games this weekend. There's still a few more to go. After this week is over, we can reset, look at the landscape. It's going to change again. Again, the few division races are very tight, and today's games are going to be the difference.
All right. Well, I'll throw a quick one at you before we go to the break. Dolphins Jets.
Shocker. I say that with love.
Shocker? You mean like
we're talking about the Dolphins.
No, but I mean like shocker, like as in like one of these shockers.
Yeah, one of those shockers.
Or because I don't want to go with that shocker.
Do the Jets? You really think the Jets have a chance to beat the Dolphins?
But it's big
today?
implication for the Dolphins this week. I mean, that is the only. I mean, it's huge for the Dolphins.
I think the Dolphins
after Monday night's meltdown.
Yeah, we have to bounce back, bro.
Okay, so they're hungry. A-Chain's not playing today, correct?
No, I think he is.
Yeah,
he is playing today.
You better hope.
Okay, so
better hope not.
So both those guys are going to handle the rock today. The Jets, I mean, what else are they playing for? They're not a good football team. They're a good defense, but even their defense lately has been susceptible. And again,
the run.
And the Dolphins are just, they're at home. They need the game. The Jets don't. What's the line? 8, 9, something like that.
It's 8.5, I think.
It's going to be bananas.
I
there.
think we're done talking about
It's
it.
going to be nuts there. It really is. All
Honestly,
right,
I think
fine
it's
then.
just-
Fine.
I mean, no, listen.
I didn't want to talk to you about it anyway.
I mean,
Steeler fan.
they'll win. The Dolphins will win
I
this
was
game
salty
today.
behind.
Now,
from
wait a
yesterday.
second.
We
Steeler
can't talk
fan.
about
Look
our
behind
team.
him.
Your team lost.
No, we'll talk about my team. You want to have an hour on my team?
No,
it's
no, that's
easy.
okay. That's okay.
All right?
And we're gonna take a quick break and we're gonna bring it home. We're headed to this at the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk. Run! Gonzo Radio. And we're back. Yeah, you could have retired too. Well, first of all, make sure that you like and subscribe. For those of you that are on YouTube, hit the like and the subscribe button, of course. If you want to check us out on the on the Facebooks and on Twitter, on X, you can just search Gonzo Radio and you'll find us. You find us all over the place, especially in social media.
Did you get rid of those dirty pictures you had on there?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. There's too many midgets to give it up. So sliding in here to our go home segment, which would be the core four, your core four players that both our experts feel that are going to be key to you making money with DFS. Maybe some with your leagues, but it all depends on if you own them or not. But these are going to be the core four that are going to really help you win DFS. So go ahead, sock it to us, Matty.
Let's bang it out, guys.
Bang it out. Hey, this is family programming. Right?
Core four. You mentioned midgets, so core four. Like you said, last few weeks have been really, really good. Johnny's been strong. I've been strong. My advice to you is take 3 from mine, 3 from his, put it together.
With the exception of Gabriel Davis, who blew Tarski again.
0.
Yeah.
I cut him. I drafted that guy.
Dude.
I drafted that guy in the 13th round in the draft, a draft pick that I cut because you know what? I've only had one of his decent games all year, and the rest have been bagels.
Yeah, big disappointment there.
More bagels in a Jewish deli.
My core four today, it's going to be pretty simple. I am focusing on positive matchups, guys in good spots. Let's start with the quarterback position. I've got 2. I'm going to give you the one we share. I'll take the other.
Okay.
So I'm on Jordan Love today. If you had asked me 5-6 weeks ago if I would put Jordan Love in my lineup, I would have said no. But it's clicking a little bit, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
better than it was.
he's been north of 20 fantasy points, I think, 5 of the last 6 weeks. They've got some weapons. I mean, Romeo Dobbs has been playing well. Reed's been playing well. I think Aaron Jones is playing today.
Oh my God! Both of those quarterbacks are just banged up. What do we got? We got AJ Dillon's got a broken thumb.
Yeah,
Aaron
they're
Jones
both
got like 5 injuries.
I'm not sure, but I think Aaron Jones is closer to playing than Dillon is. Dillon broke a thumb, right? Didn't he break a thumb? Yeah,
broke shit out of
I
him.
think Aaron Jones is a little closer to playing. We can check that. So I'm on Jordan Love today at home against Tampa, who can't cover anybody. I kind of hope that game shoots out a little bit because that will support Jordan Love production. Keep the
By the way, Todd Bowles, hot seat.
Yeah. So I'm on Jordan Love today. Let's throw some running backs at you. Kyron Williams, what a story. The Rams are a story. They're in contention. Nobody had them as even in a discussion this year in the NFC. But when healthy, when they got their pieces, Kupp has been playing well the last few weeks. Nakua has been sensational.
Y'all forgot who Sean McVay was. Everybody forgot who Sean McVay was.
He was like the original Mike.
And guess what? He's going to get Staley. He's going to get Brandon Staley back as his defensive coordinator.
Probably so.
And guess what's going to happen in L.A. next year?
Yeah, you're probably right.
It's
there.
going to get ugly in L.A. again next year.
You're going to have an angry Staley.
Yeah, it's like, what happened? Yeah. So
Kyron Williams today, I think he's about 7,700. He's priced up. He's third or fourth highest running back. Don't care. I kind of feel like in that game, again, another positive game script. We need Thurston on the other side to throw it for 400 yards so they keep the game competitive. That's going to be the key for getting to Williams' value. And I feel like even though you said you didn't think Washington was going to be viable today.
Did you call him Thurston?
Thurston Howell. Thurston C. Yeah. I'm curious to see how Washington does respond today. You'll know early on because they mentioned that Rivera is going to be let go at the end of the year. So did they all get together last night and have a little meeting? We're playing for the coach, rah, rah, rah. We'll see early, first quarter, if that actually is the case or not. So I'm hoping it is. I'm hoping Washington keeps the game competitive. That's good for me. Bijan, my other running back for today.
Bijan.
This is one of the weather games. This is a rainy, windy, gross kind of game.
Carolina sucks.
Carolina's terrible. This is a run game.
It's terrible. Just terrible.
Bijan's been averaging 5 catches over the last 3 weeks. I'd like to see that again today. Get him in space on a wet turf. One move, and he could be gone. 20-plus touches for Bijan today, including a few catches, getting the end zone. I'm happy with that. That's a big day. And I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys tight end, Ferguson, who is, over the last few weeks, been in the top 4, I think, in fantasy production. Another spot today where Dallas is going to have to throw the football. Buffalo's going to put points on the board. That game also hopefully shoots out. You got some good fantasy pieces there.
You know, here's what's funny. Ferguson's got a hot little girlfriend, too, Hannah Cavender. The basketball player, formerly at University of Miami, the Cavender twins. Okay. Cute little, really cute little blonde. How come we don't get more, more spotlight shots on her while the Cowboys are playing?
She hasn't sold 100 million records.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
She doesn't have a nation named after her. Yeah, for real. All right, it's Taylor Nation. All right.
She isn't placed above Beyonce as earners in the music world.
Yeah,
okay, sure, no problem.
She's a titan, bro. She is.
She's a bouncing around NIL women's basketball player.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but
she's
again,
a cute little blonde.
Yeah, no, I'm sure she is, but she doesn't have a nation named after her.
Okay,
so
go on.
So Ferguson's been good, top 4 guy the last couple of weeks.
Tough.
Prescott's been good. Again, tight end position is difficult because we assume based on a couple of the big names, these guys are getting big production. But you're getting 7-8 targets as a tight end. That's what you're looking for. And red zone opportunities are important when it comes to tight ends. You need opportunities in the red zone. That's how you boost that fantasy scoring, and he's been getting those as well. So I'm on Ferguson today. So recap top 4. I got Jordan Love. I have Ferguson, who I just mentioned, tight end for the Cowboys. Kyron Williams, running back for the Rams. And Bijan, named after a mustard, in Atlanta.
Bijan.
So
he is not Grey Poupon. Johnny, go ahead, get you some.
I'm actually going to take. I'm gonna tell you what. The Love thing concerns me a little bit, and I do have the Buccaneers winning that game.
Okay.
I do. The Love
38-35 all day.
You are so contrary today.
All day.
I like a controversy.
But we both agree that Stafford is a pretty safe bet this week. I mean, the past 3 weeks, he's had 20, 22, 24 fantasy points. He's lighting every team up.
Yeah.
And he has the highest yardage prop total today in Vegas.
That's right.
270 plus. So they're expecting a pretty good game from him.
I'm expecting 303 touchdowns from him. I think he's pretty safe bet for 22 to 25 this week.
Vegas did not forget Sean McVay. Vegas don't forget nothing.
I'm going to match him up with Puka Nacua.
Puka.
I had to choose between him and Kupp, and I mean, Puka's just been a tad bit more consistent. Although, if you want to take Kupp, they are literally in fantasy 8,000 and 8,200.
Yep.
You can easily switch one for the other. It won't matter. I wouldn't be mad at you either way. I had Cook on here, but I'm going to change that to Mozart, actually. I think that running back is because of the weather, or what was supposed to be the weather, but even on a dry ground, we're going to have to use him a lot because Hill's not going to be 100%. He's going to be a decoy at best out there if he plays, which I hope they don't play him. But I'll take Mozart, and I like Barkley. You know, with DeVito out there slinging the ball, he's keeping the linebackers honest about moving back. You really can't crush the 8-9 men in the box type thing, and Barkley's a consistent 14 to 22 every single week here. So I'm going to take Barkley in a big game, and that's it. Stafford, Puka Nacua, you're going to have Mozart and Barkley.
Yeah, because DeVito's got the juice.
Hey.
He's got the thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, there's like, you know, 1.5 Italians. You're not Italian. You're German, right, Johnny?
German,
You're
yeah.
German, yeah. So got 1.5 Italians in here. So we know. We know. I should go get my fedora and my Italian horn and my beads and everything like that. But yeah, I love the DeVito madness that's going on in New York right now. It's hilarious.
He showed
It's
me a
great.
picture of his agent.
Yeah,
on
his
the
agent, oh
sidelines
my God.
Before. Yeah, Tommy Two Fingers Capone.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, he was. He had the
looked like-
hat. He had the.
he was on a
band.
cell phone. He was
Yeah,
like,
sidelines.
"Yeah, you got the guy with the place in the thing.
Yeah.
All right, well, you know who's going to be over there in
That's
a little
right.
while.
He's
all
like,
right?
you got
No,
that
just
thing?
Wait.
You helped me with that thing last week? I got to help you
Did you
with
get the
that
thing with the guy in the place?
Yeah,
He's
here
got
you
like
go.
the third highest QBR over the last 3 weeks, man. I mean, he's
Yeah.
playing really well, man. Surprisingly
and
good.
his mom makes a
I was
terrific
just gonna
veal
say.
cutlet.
Yeah, Mama's cooking. Yeah,
That veal cutlet, that chicken parm.
it's worth at least 3 fantasy
At
points.
least.
Yeah, at
At
least.
least.
Yeah.
That's it. That's fuel. That's carbs for
That's
that's
it.
fuel and
Nope.
protein.
It goes to work with a little gabagool sandwich,
gabagool, exactly.
and then he's good. That's
Oh
it.
my God! Have you ever had
Yeah.
that?
No food
Yeah,
crazy.
with the burjoot and the
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's so good.
There you
Oh,
go.
and you can beat anybody with that. All right, so that's going to wrap us up once again. Johnny, what were you core for again before we went off on an Italian tangent?
Stafford, Puka, Mozart, and Barkley.
And Barkley and Matthew.
Williams, Ferguson, Robinson, and Jordan Love.
Okay, there you go. I hope
Let's
you
go.
I hope kids took notes. I hope you all wrote that down. I know I didn't write it down, but they wrote it down, and I can hit them up afterwards. I'm going to adjust my lineups accordingly. So good luck in the playoffs. I am up against Fantasy Lives Matter, which they do not. You will lose. I must break you. And I'm up against the Brooklyn Monsters, the venerable Brooklyn Monsters, a 30-year-old in our 33-year-old league, a 30-year-old team, and he's acting like a 30-year-old. He's very proud of himself because he took the Vegas defense and they hung 30
Oh my gosh.
on San Diego, and I was like, I'm at work watching this going,
You're like, where's the decimal?
right?
You're like, shouldn't
There's
this
no
be
decimal point.
3.0?
Where's the decimal point?
No, it's 30.
So yeah, I'm playing you two mooks. So I got to beat at least one of you.
Beat him.
It can't be over now.
Beat him.
No, I got to beat you.
Beat him.
No, because it's my turn to have the belt.
I want that belt.
We had the picture. The picture opened the show. You had the belt. I had the belt. Now it's my turn to have the belt, and then you get the belt next
picture
year.
will be you in the middle and me on both sides.
Oh, shut up.
So that'd be nice.
All right.
That's
Thanks
the
for
way we
watching, everybody. We're actually getting this thing done by 12 o'clock, which is amazing. I mean, I'm not even going to mention baseball or aliens.
go. What?
No baseball, no aliens.
Shohei Ohtani.
There.
78 days till
I'm a
pitchers and
professional.
catches report.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Which one are you, a pitcher or a catcher?
I'm a receiver.
You were a pitcher, though.
Yeah, I was a pitcher. I
Yeah,
pitched
so
well.
so there. Don't try to lie.
Pitch.
All right. Well, on behalf of myself and Matty DeMaz and Johnny the Autobahn, thank you very, very much for watching. I think we're going to be back next week because we still have more stuff to talk about. Even though the fantasy championship rounds will be starting next week, and the semifinals and then the championships. And we'll be back to commiserate.
Christmas Eve show.
A what?
Another Christmas Eve show.
Saturday,
Christmas Eve show?
Christmas Eve show, yeah,
Sunday.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Sunday is Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I might be going to the Miami-Dallas game. Super Bowl preview? We'll see you guys again next week here on the Gonzo Radio Sports Network.